back to my channel, everybody. This is the last breeze through tutorial before I start going back in and live coding everything. So this is again Sunday morning coming at you after I forgot to turn on my microphone last time I was recording to go into this element of my EV Fleet Diagnostic and Analysis dashboard. Again, just to clarify, if you haven't seen the other videos, this is just the UI. You'd have to make your own API calls and everything else, but this is something that you could start doing yourself if you're new to coding or you're new to any of this stuff. So this was a little bit more fun for me to do than my other couple, just because I like when things change. Toggles are fine, everything else is cool, but something that makes an elevated design that we've had in these last couple of videos is hovering, color changing, and linking. So this video kind of covers all of that, all of the previous steps, and then adds a little bit more on top of it. So if you're doing this sequentially, which I definitely recommend doing if you're new to coding, again, this is what I would save after you go and do the EV fleet management cards. This will make a lot more sense after that. So without further ado, I want to go into my EV mileage tracker. So this would be connected to each of the EV fleet cards. So each fleet card would have one of these to start tracking personal miles and business miles. So let's start with HTML. We don't have any JavaScript today, so we're going to start with what makes this. We start here with our title. We called it mileage tracker. This would change. I prefer this to be changed each time we make something within a car. So I'm actually going to bounce back here to this one really quick. For example, we're not going to say mileage tracker, mileage tracker, mileage tracker. We're going to say Wrangler mileage tracker, Model X mileage tracker, and Rivian mileage tracker. But for the sake of this video, and the sake of creating this, since we don't have it 3 times, this is just one element, I'm just calling it mileage tracker. It's easier to identify with a title for me. It doesn't necessarily have to happen for you, but this is like if I have 5,000 lines of code in one document, this makes it a lot easier for me. So this is the reference link to the Google API for the font Poppins, and this is the reference to this CSS style sheet. So we're going to get into the container that contains 2 boxes. These 2 boxes, the first box is for personal miles. We have some text here that just says header 2, personal miles. Header 3, the number of miles. This is static. In a perfect world, we'd have this being able to be changed. And then we have the button to start tracking. We do this again a second time, basically copy pasted this and just changed the information for business miles as a header 2, the mileage for header 3, and then the start tracking for the button. Down here, after these /divs, we have the call to the JavaScript code. Didn't actually write that yet because I'm not going to need to just for this UI. I will have to if I actually get this all connected. But for right now, you don't have to include this. There's no reason to include this unless you really want to build this out and make it something like a statement for your portfolio piece and actually have it linked to a start mile tracking and end mile tracking, which could literally just be a timer. Just for the record, you guys. Like, it doesn't have to be an actual mileage tracker if you're just trying to make a portfolio piece for yourself. So let's jump into the CSS stuff here. We went ahead, again, tried to do this pretty quickly during a lunch break, did a linear gradient from top left. We picked this pink and this purple. We used the same font as I love, Poppins, which is a sans serif font. Also, you guys, if you've never gotten into typography, text and type do a lot of wonders when it comes to UI. I am not the biggest UI person or at least I wasn't until I took a typography class with one of the coolest professors. Who would have thought typography would be cool? Not me, but that's fine. I actually got really into Helvetica, but digressing. So we have our container, which is what holds our 2 boxes here. We have it flexed in the center and in the center, so wherever we are, it's always there. And it's the same thing with the box. Wow. It's like I'm like a one-trick pony. I'm not. I'm just trying to make this all uniform with this particular dashboard idea. So we have the flex, center, background color, white. We got some padding, we got a border radius, and we got a drop shadow. If you remember from the last video with the EV fleet cards, we did this, which on hover would create a more pronounced shadow and make the box a little bit bigger, or appear to look a little bit bigger. So we have that here, all that same stuff on hover, same thing. But we added an element. So you'll see box hover here. You probably recognize that from here, right? Okay. This is where we get a little bit more fun. So when we hover, now our text in H2, which is here, H3, and the rest of this text is turning white. So on hover, now we're turning this box white. And that's actually both boxes. So box image, you can have an image. I didn't add one yet, but I wanted to add one. Digressing. Text, we have the flex column in the center. We also have H2, H3 centered. We have the size of H2, which is 24 pixels. The height of, or the size of H3 as 18 pixels. We also have its color being this purple, but we also now have A. So the background color is transparent. The color and border is solid. It's this beautiful, I don't know, like not magenta, but it's got that color. I don't really know what to call it. So this is the start of this hover effect for these elements. For this, we have the linear gradient again, because I thought that would be kind of neat to have this linear gradient but going the opposite like way. So we switch this and this from up here to the inverse, so purple to pink instead of pink to purple. The color for the text would be white, and the border color was white. So this is the synopsis before I actually have to get some more work done of this particular code. This next video that you guys will see, it'll be me actually live coding these things, so like as I'm actually doing it during one of my lunch breaks. And I hope that this was lightly informative, mostly informative. These will be available on my codepen. I have the link in the description below. It'll also be on my GitHub, so you can fork it, clone it, make it your own, have some fun with it, make your own dashboard. Maybe you don't even want to make a dashboard. Maybe you want to make something completely different for your own website, or a website for a friend, family, client. I don't really know. This is just for fun, trying to teach people how easy this can be once you actually have the foundation to do some of this stuff, and how you can make something practical out of something like HTML and CSS, because I feel like everyone just like goes immediately to Python, and this is actually a really great way to start because I feel like it's very clear. Digressing though, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if this is kind of flying by the seat of your pants for the last couple of videos, but I promise it's all worth it in the end. We'll make a beautiful dashboard together. You'll love it. Maybe you won't. I will, so I'll love it for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.